Welcome to the club, 'cause you're that kind of nerd.
Hello, and welcome to the club. This is That Kind of Nerd, a podcast where we talk about the nerdy things we're passionate about and judge each other on what we bring to the table. I'm your host this week, Josh Burns, and I'm joined by Brian Thornton and CJ Mellon.
Hola, bienvenue.
You're mixing two languages and you're breaking my brain.
That is mixing two languages.
Bienvenue?
Pick bienvenue is French.
I know.
You said hola, bienvenue.
Yes, correct.
I hate you so much.
Just watching Brian's face was worth it.
I hate you so goddamn.
You could say hello to the people.
He's abstaining at this point.
Present.
I'm here so I don't get fined. During our conversations, or at the end of every topic, I'll be judging and awarding points to my co-host. And the winner at the end of the show, that is the person with the most points, will be the host next show. So, gentlemen, I have one small thing that fits anywhere. And
I'm sorry to hear that.
Over to you guys. Yeah.
That was good. That was good.
How does Lauren feel about that? If she's okay with it? All right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm 2 for 2 over here, man.
2 for 2. Oh my god. Oh,
fire! All right.
Yeah, that was good. That was real good, CJ. That's your one this month.
It is. I may be my ringtone anytime Josh calls me now or sends me a text. I have two topics for this week. One of them is I think a broad topic. The other one's a nerdy topic, and I'll start with the broad one. Which let's just start off with this. Taylor Swift Eras Tour is.
We're talking about Tay Tay again.
We're talking about Tay Tay again.
Right? Oh, I love me some good Tay Tay talk.
For a couple things, right?
Wait, haven't you heard? We're done talking about Taylor Swift. Britney Spears' memoir is out.
That's true. But 1984 just dropped.
1989.
Taylor's version. 1989. See, I don't even know this. 1989, Taylor's version just dropped. So we're back to Tay Tay, right? Britney had her time. It's time for Tay Tay. So
very
on
true.
this podcast, on this very show, we are very much in the camp of, hey, stop tomfoolery in the movie theaters. Don't believe me? Where are all our playgrounds in the movie theaters, right? Right? We fight to keep the playgrounds out of the movie theaters, and we believe in theater etiquette. Well, even when we saw the Meg together, and I was talking too much Mystery Science Theater 3000 style, I was told to shut up, right? So we're very much into the theater etiquette. However, the Taylor Swift era's movie, event, concert, seems to be breaking that paradigm, and I'm kind of curious as to how you two feel about that. Because it's not a movie per se. It really is an experience for people who could not buy tickets, get tickets, and all that to go to a movie theater. But there are, I would say, children as well as adults, right? Dancing in the aisles, turning on their flashlights, singing along with the songs, and having a great time in their theater, which I'm curious about your take on that. But also, this seems to be bleeding into people trying to also just watch regular movies in the theater next door. So I'm kind of this is a different issue, I think, and I'm kind of curious what you guys think about people just having a good time, having a blast in the theater while they're watching this movie, and then the consequences that are happening to other people in the theaters.
I guess I don't understand how it would affect anyone in the theater next door.
So people are singing along and screaming so loud that you can hear it through the walls.
There's no way.
Absolutely.
There's no.
Yeah,
listen,
there's videos of it. You can hear it.
It's real. It's real.
But you can't hear crazy loud movies in the theater next door.
Yeah, you absolutely can.
Absolutely can.
100%.
Yep.
If I'm sitting here like watching Oppenheimer and Transformers is playing in the theater next door, I'm hearing Transformers throughout some of Oppenheimer.
That had to happen during Barbie.
Well, all right. If that's the case, then I don't understand how this would be a Taylor Swift problem.
Because the thing that's happening is the movie, which means that it's really kind of relatively short than which is happening. This is a 2.5 hour scream fest.
It's a concert.
It's a full-blown concert happening in a movie theater, which way louder than a big explosion, a car chase, or just a moment that's happening.
All right.
But let's say this. You're in the theater trying to watch the Eras tour, right? You're in the theater watching that. And then people start getting up and doing their crop circle dancing and, with flashlights and just having a good time for that as the theater experience. I think that's awesome, right? Like if you're that much into Taylor Swift, you finally get to see the tour because you couldn't go in person, and you basically do the in-person concert experience in the movie theater. I think that's fine. I think anyone that's in that theater who's upset about that needs to shut up.
Yeah, you have you have the expectation of a concert environment, and that going in because you're not it's not a documentary, it's the concert, right? So you're there for the concert experience. And I think that there is a reasonable expectation that theater goers abide by the etiquette of whatever the thing is, right? So again, like Hamilton, for instance, was a stage play in the movie theater, but people still behaved like they were in a theater, right? There was less shenanigans, in my opinion, than there would have been if it were a movie.
Yeah, I remember being at Hamilton singing along and being like the only person in the actual theater to sing something.
Yeah,
I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that's not. You shouldn't be.
That's
doing
a no-no. You should not do that.
Listen, you're
you're a theater guy.
kid.
There are times where that is allowed. Yes, there are.
Nope.
False.
Yeah,
False.
if it's Disney, like if it's a kid's show,
or if it's like a call response type of thing, sure.
Right.
Sure.
Which
but that's not
there are.
Hamilton.
Which is no. Hey, it's time for a cabinet battle, right? Remember that scene, the cabinet battle, where they come out and they do.
there's no call and response.
There is a call and response in that one. In the theater, there's a call and response to that one.
I've seen the show in the
Let's hear
theater.
it for a cabinet battle, and everyone goes woo.
Listen, this all goes back.
That's for the crew. That's for the crew, and that's for the cast. That's
Carry
not
on.
for
Carry
it's not
on.
for the audience.
We don't need
This
to
all
talk about
goes
my-
back to the fact that yes, we agree, CJ. Hamilton is overrated, and
Right. This is what I was afraid
We
of.
don't
This is what I
agree.
was afraid of right there.
no. To Josh's point, it's not Taylor Swift's problem, and it is a concert experience. And it is to Josh's point, right? You go to a concert, there's specific etiquette, right? You go to a Broadway show, there's specific etiquette. You go to a movie, there is specific etiquette, which kind of links up to this very similar topic that you talked about a couple weeks ago when some Gen Z idiot was saying, oh, if you don't want to talk during the movie, don't go to the movies type of thing.
No, don't you go to the movie.
No, you don't
Exactly.
go to the movies.
Right,
That's
yes.
not what the movies are for, right? There is a specific etiquette. Now that's ridiculous, right, Josh? Like,
to think that people who are going to a concert should conform to a movie theater experience, that's ridiculous. I will say that people in neighboring theaters, if this is an issue, I mean, you have recourse as well. You go to the manager, you tell them about it, and you get your ticket refunded. And that's it, right? But you shouldn't expect anything more than that.
yeah, but even more so, like if I'm the owner of a theater, come on, we're not idiots here. We all knew this is what the Eras Tour was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I am specifically blocking out theaters to minimize that as much as possible, right? Everybody's got those like theaters in like the back hallway or what have you, like, or even if you load them up in the front hallway and you shift the Saw 10 screenings to the back hallway, what have you, right? Like, it's on me to map out that theater to provide the best experience for my guests. Like,
Right.
period. So like, it's not on like, this isn't about, oh, well, the people who are going to see the Eras Tour should shut up. No.
Logistically, though, I mean,
There's going to be some splashover, right? Like
there is, because the theaters that you're talking about are either tiny theaters or IMAX theaters,
right.
and in either case, the tiny theaters can't accommodate, and the IMAX theaters, you're probably not, like, unless you're selling the IMAX tickets, you're not using that theater.
Right. Well, and quite honestly, like, so, I mean, this goes back to a business question, right? To Josh's point, if I'm a tiny theater, do I even bother booking anything but the Eras Tour? Right? Like,
Well, no. I was talking about like you have your 16 screens, and the one all the way down the end on the left is that like
are the small ass theaters. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But here's but to that point though, and I
if you're the Emmaus Theater, that's a one room theater,
just
you
book
should
the Eras
absolutely book that. Yeah,
just book Eras and nothing else, right?
Right.
Like, but like if you're like the multi, there's still multiplexes, even though it's like 16 screens, right? You got those smaller theaters, but let's face it, nothing came out against this movie. People moved their movies around because they said Eras is coming out on October 13th. In fact, Saw was one of them. Saw had to push back the release 2 weeks because Eras was like, "Hey, October 13th, Taylor Swift," and they're like, "We don't need that kind of shade. Like, we don't need that kind of shade right now, right? Like,
we don't want to be killed."
And they're like, "Well, it's Friday the 13th, though. Like, it's horror." And like, no,
yeah, she can have it. Yep,
she can enjoy it, Taylor. Like, so, like, there was nothing else coming out against this film.
Right.
I would think as a multiplex owner, it would be easy to move and shift these theaters around because, quite frankly, everything else that Taylor Swift is competing against is 2, 3, 4 weeks old and is probably ending up in those smaller theaters anyway. Right. I don't think this is an issue. Yeah, I think social media has made it an issue.
Well, that's the next piece, right? So for the other part too, just for clarity, in case you do want to go to the movie theater and see a movie and not be bothered by Eras only plays on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Just those 4 days. So Monday,
the days that people go to see movies.
Right, but I mean, it just if you don't want to deal, but if you don't want to deal with it at all, I don't even want there's your problem.
There's a reason every theater's got a $5 Tuesday
exactly
because no one goes to the movies.
No one goes
on Monday through Wednesday.
Brian, you bring up the next point, which is social media has also made this a thing where people are mocking the patrons of the Taylor Swift Eras tour of having that concert, of doing things that. There's a call and response thing that's built into Taylor Swift concerts. I was not aware of this.
Yeah. Where she's like, says something and they're like, "Where are you going, Taylor?"
Yeah, they yell it back. And people are mocking people for doing this. And the thing that I am instantly reminded of when I see this kind of behavior in the Taylor Swift thing is Rocky Horror. That if we had cell phones that would shame people during the Rocky Horror run, the cult run that they do. I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever been to a Rocky Horror show in a movie theater.
Them. I think
why would I have ever done that?
You would hate it, Josh. People throw things at the screen. They talk through the opening. I mean, like, it's a fucking event.
But the difference is,
I've never seen it.
For Rocky Horror, they do it with The Room too.
They do it with The Room also.
They throw spoons and shit. The difference is those are events that are at midnight.
Yeah, no, my thing is this.
Not during normal theater operating hours.
I'm not talking about the noise pollution anymore, right? That's a separate issue.
No, I'm not talking about noise pollution either, but the fact of the matter is, even if, from a social media aspect, right?
Right.
Even if I were to record it and post it, the odds of, depending on what time of day I post it, the odds of the fact that, the idea that something like Rocky Horror The Room is such a niche, it is a cult following for a reason. The algorithm is not going to be pushing Rocky Horror screenings on my screen.
The reason, CJ, that nobody would ever do that is because why are you in that theater? Like,
right.
There's no confusion about what your expectations should be or will be if you go to a Rocky Horror Picture Show.
It's the same thing with Taylor Swift, right? You should have
No. I don't think that's the case.
No, okay.
I think putting Taylor Swift concert in the theater itself gives, obviously there's like a pretty wide delta in the expectation that people have.
Right.
So a casual moviegoer is not going to Rocky Horror Picture Show. A casual Taylor Swift fan may go to Eras and would likely have no idea what to expect. And so things may seem weird or whatever, but like I mean, don't be an asshole. And B, I think any artist that is on that scale, and there aren't many, you should expect overzealous fans. Like, I mean, any artist.
Yeah.
And the fact is, it's not even that, like, she's super popular, is that she is universal. She is more likely... Listen, we talked about this, last episode. Like,
she's the biggest pop star in the world.
She's the biggest pop star in the world. I wasn't a huge fan of hers until recently, but even still, I get Taylor Swift shit on my algorithm. Whereas we're talking about, you're comparing it to stuff like The Room and Rocky Horror, which is...
I'm not articulating what I'm talking about, right? So
clearly,
part of the appeal of seeing Rocky Horror is this is a safe place that we're going to say the dialogue. We're going to sing along. We're going to goof about. And there is a ritual, dare I say, at this level, because it is a cult classic and it's got culty feels to it. You're going to dress up. You're going to sing along. You're going to call and response. There's also parts where you're talking over the movie. That is fun, right, for people to do. Had we had the social media when Rocky Horror, what was the other movie you mentioned? The Room. When The Room came out, these little traditions, these little fun showings, these little things would not have happened, right? We would have killed that kind of behavior.
No,
right?
No.
You think it would have thrived?
Stop. You're mixing things up. They wouldn't have happened because the trolls that do that shit wouldn't be in those theaters. They wouldn't be in the theater.
Then why are they at Taylor Swift?
Because they're casual Taylor Swift fans. What I'm saying is...
Or their wife or sister or mother is dragging them to it.
Casual fans don't go to Rocky Horror. Casual fans don't go to The Room. They just don't. Because they know it's too fucking weird for words. And they will, like... They are immediately the outcast in that situation, and they are not in the Taylor Swift situation, right? They expect a certain amount of normalcy, and they don't expect the Michael Jackson level, like Asian fan Michael Jackson. You remember when he went to Asia?
Yeah.
When he went to China, when he went to Japan?
Yeah.
And like how over the top,
like everything was, yes,
crying, weeping, fainting, screaming, like.
Yes.
People don't expect that, and that is 100% what you're getting is Michael Jackson level fandom. And no, I think that if you're casually going, no. And the reason CJ
then as a theater goer, right? If you are a casual fan and you're going to the Eras tour, are you going to get upset then when people start getting up and dancing and turning on the flashlights?
It depends on how big an asshole you are.
That's what I'm saying.
That's right. That's right. It depends on how big an asshole that you are.
Quite frankly, and listen, here's the positive thing on the social media thing, right? Mm-hmm. There is no fucking delusions as to what to expect when going into that theater. So if you are a casual fan at this point and you don't know that that's what you're walking into, the problem's you, first and foremost. Secondly, if you are a casual fan who doesn't want to participate in that, guess what? Taylor Swift's smart. She'll sell this freaking movie for $1.5 billion to Disney Plus or Netflix or whoever will give her top dollar, and you can stream it at home in a couple months. Like, guaranteed. So, like, do you really need to go to the theater if that's not what you want to deal with? It's just like to Josh's point. I'm not a Rocky Horror fan. I'm not going to go to a Rocky Horror screening. Period.
You should go to one. It's fun.
No, thank you. Oh. I know what it is, and I know the experience, and I know that's not my scene. That's not my vibe. Not about that life, right?
You don't go to a Philly sporting event,
right?
And listen. You don't go to a Philly sporting event and sit in the nosebleeds with a child and expect that there's going to be decorum. Yeah. It is your fault for taking a child into the nosebleed.
You don't go to a Philadelphia sporting event with a child and expect decorum. Doesn't matter where you're sitting.
No. Well,
that's not necessarily true.
Sporting event and expect decorum.
Yeah, just right there.
Period.
You can
having been to several. That is true.
If you are in a suite, if you are down close to the field level, it's not like it is up in the bleachers. It's
not much better. As a Steelers fan who went to an Eagles game, it is not much better.
No, they're the absolute worst.
Right.
I've never, by the way, and as an aside, I can't imagine what it must be like for a team to go to Game 7 of the National League Championship Series, lose the way they did, and then have everyone who's leaving the ballpark bad-mouthing you. Like you're a shit team. Shame on you, Philly fans. Shame. It's unacceptable. It's ridiculous. Anyway, what I'm saying is all of these venues have an expectation. If you are ignorant of that expectation, that is your fucking problem.
Yep.
Right? And look,
it is legit like me showing up to an Eagles game and being like, I wasn't expecting so much screaming. Like,
I love Christian is he's great to travel with, right? Because he just kind of goes with the flow. I can take him anywhere. I can take him to a Yankees game. I can take him to a fancy restaurant. I can take him to a food truck. Doesn't matter. Your country concert wouldn't matter. He would act as if. As if he's been there before 100% of the time.
Yes.
Right? And there's no like awkwardness or because he's like, okay, what are the people who are here, what are they doing? Yeah, I can get with that. Right? And that's what you want to see.
Right.
From humans. But here's what happens, CJ, to your point with the social media, I need people to understand the way I feel about I'm one of 300 people in this theater, and you all have to know how I feel.
I'm the main character.
You.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah. And to be honest, I don't think I'm sure social media is making this a thing, but I don't think they're making it as much of a thing as the cable news networks who then pick up these social media videos.
Yeah.
But it's not actually news. It's already been reported by the asshole who posted it.
Yeah.
But then for them to be like, oh, these videos are opening up a discussion about movie etiquette. I don't think so.
They're not.
I don't think so at all. Because what I've seen a lot of videos of? And I'm on Film Talk. This is my niche, right?
Right.
You would expect if there was a discourse around it, I would be served up that information, right?
Yeah.
I see a lot of videos of people having a blast at the Eras movie.
Yeah.
And I see a couple videos of, hey, here's people having a blast, and here's clearly the guy who was dragged here by his wife who's just sitting there, right? Like funny things like that. I have not seen a single film talker be like, we need to talk about movie theater.
No.
You know why? Because God damn it, I'm just happy that people are going to the theater right now. Like everybody who owns a movie theater is bowing down to the freaking pearly dresses of Taylor Swift and saying thank you because you just made our freaking year. We can stay open another year because of this movie. That's all that, because at this point, no one's going to the theater. So not only did the Swifties save the NFL, apparently they're saving the theater industry as well. Can we just get the Swifties everywhere so that any dying business or genre can be saved by the Swifties?
These are the same people that are offended at a comedy show. You're at a comedy show.
Right.
Yeah.
Dude, you don't get to be offended. You don't go to a Matt Rife show in an offensive t-shirt, sit in the front row and not expect an interaction. You have misjudged. You're not in the right place, sir, madam.
It's funny because the owner of the Alamo Draft House, which is one of the other theater chains that gets to have the Eras tour, has an opening where it's just like, hey, shut the fuck up and have a lot of fun. Do whatever the fuck you want. Dance, scream. By the way, here are a couple things you should do. You should yell this when she says this. You should say this when she says that. I don't know what any of this means, but this sounds like it's a good time.
Quite frankly, if you gave me a little
a bouncing ball
card
on the screen,
right, a little business card with the practices on it,
just give me a little handout and just be like, hey, at this time during this song when she says this, you say this. I'm down. All right.
That's really cool. Making people feel more comfortable by
absolutely
providing instruction.
Because not everybody knows that crap.
No, I certainly wouldn't know.
The only reason I found out about it was because of a TikTok during the Eras tour of someone who's like, hey, I recently became a huge Taylor Swift fan, but I heard there's these call and responses and I don't know them. So she Googled all of them and was singing the songs and then practicing them. And then, in preparation for going to the concert. And that's the only way I even found out about it. Apparently this has been a thing her entire career. So listen, go to the movie, have fun. That's like the people who are making a big deal about this are the news outlets who are staring down the barrel of their complete erasure as a job position or network in general, and people who are just fucking jealous that they don't have something that they're that passionate about, quite frankly. And anybody who wants to sit there and bitch about it, I will pull up every single video of everybody freaking the fuck out when Captain America said Avengers Assemble in Endgame. We didn't say anything about that then. And like those theaters were fucking loud.
Those theaters erupted.
You know? Like,
exactly.
It's the same thing.
Several times during that movie.
Several times.
The theaters erupted. Yeah.
So like, don't sit there and bitch about it, because I know you were one of those people screaming when he picked up that hammer. Like,
when he finally said Avengers Assemble, you telling me you didn't fucking go bananas?
I'm not, you guys know I'm not that guy in the theater. And
I did.
I was, completely unconscious reaction. Yeah. I had no idea what I was doing, but I was
just
applauding.
left your body for a moment? Like,
I was applauding and yelling. And it was awesome.
You don't do that. There is one quick thing, and this is the final word on this. AMC does have guidelines, by the way. And again, they're not rules, they're more like guidelines. About what to do, which is we encourage dancing and singing throughout the concert film event,
but not on the jungle
gym. Dance on our seats or block other guests from viewing,
please
walking
use
safely,
the
or exiting the
trampoline
auditorium
responsibly.
Right. Feel free to take selfies or group pictures, but you can't record the concert. And then basically just like, hey, have the best time, but be respectful of people enjoying the concert and other movies at AMC.
So
then the rest of it is just like general shit.
Why does AMC need to say, hey, be a decent human being?
Have you seen the world?
People aren't.
Have you been outside?
They're like, hey, can you just be chill? Just be chill.
Well, it's also just like, hey,
we'll all have a good time.
You're the parent of a 12 or 11-year-old person who's watching this movie. You just need to tell them to just at an 8. They can be at an 8. They can't be at 10. They have to be at 8. Also, don't stand on the chairs. Okay, just don't do that.
Well, that's just because you're going to get hurt.
Well, that's all I've got, good sir.
I have a question that if you have an answer, great, and if you don't, fine. I should have already done the research on this. Taylor Swift releasing all these records, that's about getting her rights back, right?
Correct. It's owning her masters to these. Correct.
So do you know why she didn't own the masters before?
Yes.
I don't understand that.
Private equity came out from underneath her because it was owned by the record company initially, and bought him out from the record company with no consultation or anything to her. It's their legal right to, unfortunately. That's how the contract is set up. And that's why she's re-releasing them. So
re-releasing or re-recording?
Yes.
Okay, so but she has to re-record them.
She has to re-record it. That's why they're called Taylor's version.
And she is actually adding stuff to them.
Yeah, every now and then she's changing it too. But
no, I get that. Does that render those previous ones defunct?
No, but the fans. Okay, but she's instructed fans, and fans have agreed.
Fans are only going to buy her version, but
we only listen to Taylor's version.
But radio stations can play.
Radio stations can play the regular versions, but I've seen several videos and articles saying that radio stations are saying we're going to go with Taylor's version.
Fans know you didn't play Taylor's version of this. And again, 1989 didn't have a Taylor's version until like 2 days ago. Right.
Yeah, I saw it on Apple Music. Just
anytime that it was played on the radio and that's on, it was going to this other private equity firm.
Gotcha. Okay. No, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, there was a lot of shadiness involved in it. Not even that, like, it was just their legal right to do so, but, like, there was a lot of, like, oh, we are going to talk to you, Taylor, because she had a verbal agreement from the person who had owned the company previously that, hey, we're going to revisit this so that you can own, your music when I'm done. And then they did not honor that and sold it to some other guy. And then the other guy was not being very responsive, was pretty much saying, I'm going to bleed this for everything it's worth until the Swifties got in an uproar. And then all of a sudden tried to backpedal and be like, oh no, I told her we could talk, which never happened. And so she was like, screw it. I'm just going to re-record everything. And that'll be mine. Probably the smartest career decision she's made so far.
I was going to say, This is, by the way, when she said, I'm going to do this, right? Every record company, everybody was like, good luck trying to get your people.
Oh, yeah,
like,
this isn't going to happen.
I'm
You're
sure
screwed. It's not
that
gonna get
I'm
anything.
sure you're going to go platinum for the Taylor version of it. Oh my fucking God, were they wrong?
Yeah.
I mean, I even see bumper stickers on cars that say, in this car, we listened to Taylor's version. Like, this shit is the smart, again, her team or her, I don't know who's behind the business decisions that she makes all the time. Fucking brilliant. From the Taylor's versions to the movie to everything that goes wrong with her brand. There's a reason she's a billionaire. She's
now officially over $1 billion.
Yeah, on music alone. On music alone.
Yeah.
A billionaire. Which is like insane. So go for her.
Well, good for her. Cool.
I think this is probably the last time we can talk about Taylor Swift before we
for the past
become
two
a Taylor Swift
episodes,
podcast.
For the past 2 episodes, we spent the first half hour talking about Taylor Swift. I do want to point that out. I don't know if we need to change the title of the show.
Taylor kind of nerd.
Yeah,
That kind of Taylor nerd.
That kind of Taylor nerds.
Not to be confused with Taylor Ham. We're not. I mean, I am that kind of Taylor Ham.
Pork roll.
Okay, pork roll. We're gonna go on that road. We're gonna upset all of New Jersey.
Taylor roll. Taylor Ham is a brand.
Is a brand, right?
Yeah.
Pork roll
is the product.
Correct.
Although Josh, you don't say adhesive medical strips, do you?
No.
They're Band-Aids.
They're Band-Aids.
I say bandages.
Bandages.
It's not hook and loop. It's not hook and loop. It's Velcro, right?
I didn't even know that one. That's true.
Oh yeah, Velcro is also
Velcro is a brand name. All right. Well, let's I guess segue from Taylor Swift to talking about another. You know what? I don't have a good segue for this. So,
all right.
Really? I couldn't tell.
Segue. I'm just gonna say segue, and now we're on to a new topic. So I was perusing the interwebs like one does. My topic has to do with film as well, but not in the vein of Taylor Swift, obviously. I found this. It's not an article. It's how like news is.
Would you like to restart this? Would you like another take?
No. I'm not done yet. Can you? Let me
this
finish?
is working out well.
Can you let me finish?
This is going great.
Can you let me finish?
Go ahead.
You good?
Sure.
Good.
Yes.
You know how quote-unquote entertainment news is nowadays, where pretty much nothing of substance is actually in an article. You just read the headline, and that's the news of the day type of thing.
Yeah.
But they
The
try
rest
to
is
make
ads,
it seem like there's a whole article. So I saw this headline, and as interesting that I thought it was not interesting enough for me to read an article. But Elijah Wood curates a day of free horror streaming on Pluto TV. So essentially, if you were, Pluto TV is a free streaming app. If you are a horror fan, on October 18th, you could log on and have a playlist specially curated by Elijah Wood of just horror movies for October. And I thought, that's pretty interesting. I think that's really cool that they did this. Apparently, Elijah Wood is a bigger horror fan than anybody knew about because, he really only does stuff like dramas and stuff anymore right now, or if he does anything. I think the last horror movie he was in was The Faculty. So,
he played a pretty scary character in Sin City.
Very true. Very true. But he is a big horror fan. And so this got my brainstem kind of firing neurons and stuff. And it made me think, if you were to pick an actor to curate a day of movies for you, not specifically from an app, but if you could pick an actor to curate a day of watching films for you, specifically like, hey, for the folks at home, I know you two know what I'm talking about, but for the folks at home, when I say curate a playlist or curating movies, the best analogy I can give you is like when you made that mixtape for Samantha in 12th grade, like you put a lot of care into it. You didn't just jump right into the, oh, I love you songs. Like that's like 5 or 6 on the list. Like you kind of do a slow build up and then there's a fall. Like, oh, this one's fat. Like there was like an actual thought process behind that mixtape. And for anybody who doesn't know what a mixtape is, I don't know why you're listening.
It's a playlist at that point, right? Yeah.
So if you could have an actor curate a set of movies for you, what actor would it be? And what genre would you like them to curate for you?
I have follow-up questions to this. Number one, is this because I want to see what comes out of their brain, or I'm looking for the playlist that would make me the happiest? Like,
dealer's choice.
Like, do I want Gary Busey to do it just because I want to see what Gary Busey would do? Okay,
listen, you can give me a couple, and you can give me your reasons why, right? But like, dealer's choice. I know you and I already agree on one, so I'm gonna let you say that. But like, for example, I would love to see more. I would not mind seeing a day of comedies curated by Ryan Gosling, because I think Ryan Gosling is an underrated comedic actor, and I would love to see what kind of thought process he has, what inspired him in the few comedic roles that he's done, stuff like The Nice Guys and Barbie, right? So that's an example, if that helps. But it is dealer's choice. I don't care. If you think, hey, I want to see what crazy ass shit Gary Busey would feed me, great. Tell me, but you gotta give me a genre.
Well, we already, I'm gonna cheat and just say the one person that I want, we kind of already got in, what is it? The Incredible Burden of, what was the name of that?
Incredible Weight of Massive Talent.
Thank you. Pedro Pascal and Nicolas Cage give you like their top 5, which includes Paddington, or Paddington 2.
I hear
I believe
but amazing things about Paddington 2, I've never seen it.
Yes, and again, this movie with Nick Cage saying you should definitely watch like this movie, also Paddington 2. You're like, what the fuck?
Right.
Okay. I'm not. I don't know. Josh.
Yeah.
This is tough.
I don't think it's that tough. I'm a big fan of the Actors Roundtable. You familiar?
I've seen snippets. Yeah.
Okay, so because of that, right? I think that there are, and when you listen to actors talk about other actors, there are certain folks that are revered for their kind of they're pretty adept at multiple facets of the industry. So because of that, one person I would love to have curate a list for me would be Matt Damon. I'm going to put Damon and Affleck together and have them do one day.
It's probably good, yeah.
And then Jack Nicholson.
Okay.
And to round it out, give me Sandler.
So, okay, I thought Sandler too. Now, I'm curious. Is there a specific genre you would want Sandler to curate around?
Drama.
Okay. So I was thinking the same thing, or I went completely left field when I was thinking about this. And I said, I would love to see what horror movies Sandler would give me. Just because it is completely, quote unquote, against his type, right? But clearly you see stuff like QB Halloween, and like, he knows the genre. He's seen a horror film or two, right? So like, I'd be interested. But I love that.
I know that, like, if I went Sandler and drama, I know I'd get a mix of heisty. I know I'd get a mix of emotional. I know there'd be some biting comedy in there. Like even his
you'd probably get some sports dramas too.
And you would definitely get a sports drama, right? But like, that's the thing that I thought about with him. Plus, I got to tell you, I'm not sure there are many actors I like more in dramatic roles than I like Adam Sandler. He is spectacular in dramatic roles.
Yeah. I absolutely agree. I even thought that same way, even though I think some of his dramatic roles are not the best, but I still think he's good in them, of Jim Carrey. And
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to see some of the dramas that he would pull out, right? Like, and he's very, I don't want to say the word method because he's not method, but he takes, CJ, you probably watched more interviews with the man than I have because he's like your favorite actor, but like, he takes what he does so seriously.
Yeah.
And like has and not like too seriously, but like he definitely has a reverence for it. And I feel the same way about Sandler. I think like you listen to them in interviews and you think, oh, Adam Sandler, he's behind stupid ass comedies, right? Like crappy ones like The Ridiculous Six, but also good ones like Happy Gilmore, right? And then
Big Daddy for as much as it was a slapstick comedy, if that movie didn't make you cry, I don't know who the fuck you are.
Get the hell out of here.
But then, I don't think a lot of people, especially when it comes to Sandler, and CJ, we're gonna get to you, but I want to stay on Sandler for a second. I don't think people really think about the fact that he owns his own production company. He produces plenty of things that he is not in, and yes, not even his friends are in. And like that kind of gives you a little bit into the mind of like, hey, this is what Sandler likes. This is what Sandler believes in. This is what he thinks is worth throwing money at, which I think is interesting too.
The thing that I mean, and obviously I had seen Rain Over Me. I had seen Hustle. I had seen Uncut Gems. He's spectacular in all three. But like Hustle, this was just some Netflix thing that came out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm going to watch it because it's an Adam Sandler movie and whatever. But it was really fucking good. Now, I hadn't seen him on the Actors Roundtable. And then you're watching the Actors Roundtable and it's like De Niro, Tom Hanks, Adam Sandler, and somebody. And I'm like, and all of these people are taking Adam Sandler very seriously. And they're, you know what I mean? So it's clear, Brian, to your point, that industry people really respect Adam Sandler, and that says something.
Yeah, it's just the critics that don't know what the fuck
I'm gonna move on to CJ, but before that, I need to modify. I'm gonna throw Casey Affleck in with Ben and Matt.
So you're gonna have the trifecta?
You just want to see what Boston movies come out? I want them to curate the true life of Boston.
Anything that any one of them touches is basically gold.
Right.
Anything.
Yeah.
Right. So give me those three, Nicholson and Sandler. But I'm going to put Jamie Foxx in there somewhere, but I don't know where.
Yeah. All right. This reminds me of and Josh, this is a playlist specifically for you. I'll include it in the show notes. Yellow Card made a playlist of songs I wish I wrote, which has a very similar kind of vibe to this, which also, by the way, Josh, is filled with songs that you would like also. And I'm thinking about this, and I'm coming at this a little bit different just because that's how my stupid brain is. But I would love to see Timothy Spall's kind of take on what is good character acting look like besides the performances that he gave, right? What did he watch to become a good character actor? I would definitely want to kind of see his take on that. And if you don't know the name Timothy Spall, you know him, Peter Pettigrew from Harry Potter, as well as like everything else that he does. He is one of the best character actors ever.
Yeah, he's in a bunch of stuff.
Ever. I would love to see what Jeremy Renner would put together for just like an action weekend. That man has got his toes into every franchise, which means he understands what this stuff is. I would love to see what Jeremy Renner would put together for this. And I think the last one, can I cheat a bit and say I would love to see a James Gunn just walk me down comedy?
That's not fair. Like, I don't think we can. I don't think we can say writers or directors.
Then I get his brother. I can loophole it that way, right? He's the
because
actor.
it just opens up. Because I mean, how do you not have Tarantino?
Right. Tarantino, Cameron.
I just think there's too many.
Fine. I'll stay.
And let's face it,
but Timothy
Gunn
Spall's
and Tarantino
character
are
actors,
known for directing.
Yeah, Timothy Spall's character actor one is one that I would study like it was a sacred word. It would be so interesting to see what informed him, because that guy is a goddamn chameleon and can do whatever you want, and that is something that just has to be practiced. Like him and Patton Oswalt had the same thing. It doesn't really matter what they're in; they're just doing their thing, and it can be fun. I'm very, very curious to see this. I have more answers for this for music than I do for movies, which is weird. Right now, my brain is like, I don't know what a movie star is. I can't. I don't know why, Brian.
I thought for sure you would mention Topher Grace.
I was just about. Yeah, thank you, Topher Grace. Here's the thing with Topher Grace. Topher Grace apparently after he did. Oh God, what was the movie where he was David Duke.
Black Klansman.
Was it Black Klansman? After that movie, he was like, I had to clear out my brain from that movie. I couldn't inhabit that person in that way. And he went on a huge editing spree doing, I think it was Star Wars or Lord of the Rings.
I believe it was Lord of the Rings.
It was Lord of the Rings to make it like
I actually think he did both of them, but
he probably apparently Topher Grace is an editor where he will fan edit trilogies or
yeah, he did. He's done both.
Yeah.
The question is, which one did he do after Black Klansman? I think it actually might have been
It doesn't
Star
matter.
Wars.
The fact that he's done both is enough, right? That I would just love to see him cut. I want to see those cuts. I want to see that. How do you cut together Lord of the Rings? I don't know if that includes The Hobbit, but how do you cut together the Lord of the Rings in a more creative manner? I would be very interested to see that. Same thing with Star Wars. You know, we've talked about different viewing orders of this and things like that, and I am kind of curious as to what that would be. This is also a topic that I wanted to bring up for another conversation, so I guess I'll save it for next episode.
Topher Grace edited the Hobbit movies into one film to cure his stress.
That, for the love of God, show me, because the 3 movies suck. So put it in one movie, and I'll feel like I could sit through that.
I disagree completely.
That's fine. The Hobbit movies
the 3
blow.
movies suck. I definitely think there's issues with it, but I don't say they suck.
Didn't even watch the third one. It was the first 2 were so bad. Watch it as one movie.
crazy.
It's one book. Make it one movie. Perfect. Go for it.
Yeah, but okay. So by that logic, I should only have one Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows movie. So you can't say that.
No, because Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows is a gigantic book.
So is The Hobbit.
The biggest book of the series. The
So
Hobbit
is The Hobbit.
is the smallest book of the series, isn't it?
No, it's not. 100% not. I actually think I might have my copies here, but hang on. How many pages is The Hobbit? So The Hobbit is... Oh, actually, hang on. I'm about to be
The
proven
Hobbit
wrong.
book length is 304. The Fellowship of the Rings is 479 pages. Two Towers is 415. I reclaim my time. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. We both Googled the same article.
So
Good
no,
job.
you're wrong. Thank you.
I just said I was wrong. Did I
know.
not? Are you enjoying your moment?
Refreshing A&W Zero Sugar
Great.
Root Beer.
So let
Washing
me
down the
enjoy
taste-
my moment
Hold
when
on.
I say...
Washing down the taste of victory. So no, not by that line.
Cool. Let me enjoy my moment when I say this whole conversation that led to you being right is null and void because it's not even my question.
I don't care. I'm still right.
I don't like.
You act like I care.
Topher Grace edited a bunch of stuff and it's great. You're not interested in seeing what Topher Grace would curate for you? Clearly, he has a keen mind for like fantasy and sci-fi. So if I said to Topher Grace, hey, no Hobbit, no Lord of the Rings, no Star Wars, but give me a day of sci-fi, you wouldn't be interested in seeing what he would come up with?
No, that's a different thing. I would be, but like, am I going to go seek?
So
out
that
Topher
actually
Grace?
answers
No.
the question that I proposed.
Right, but I'm not see. You asked who would I ask? I want Timothy Spall. I want to see his character. I want to see Jeremy Renner. I want to see those. Those are the 2 that I would seek out. If Topher Grace came to my house and said, "I have a list here of movies. Would you like to watch them?" I'm not being like, "You're not Scarlett Johansson. Get out of here."
I do love how you both limited yourself to 3 for some reason, and I did not put any limits on this.
No, but you were like 1, and then you were like, well, you can have more than 1.
You can
We
just
didn't want to
give me
take too many
whatever.
liberties.
Just listen. I just wanted to have a decent conversation, and so if I just said 1, you'd be like, "Oh, Ben Affleck. Oh, Jeremy Renner. Okay, moving on, I suppose." But like, so yeah, okay. So you both limited yourself to 3. That's all I was saying,
What were your 3?
huh?
What were your 3?
I haven't even given mine.
Oh, okay. What were
I
yours?
haven't even. I said I would love Ryan Gosling to do
The comedy. I remember that one. Yes, that was the.
Oh, actually, I did technically throughout the conversation give mine. Ryan Gosling give me a comedy day. Jim Carrey give me a drama day. And I would say Topher Grace, take all the big IP out and give me a good sci-fi day. I think that would be interesting. Other than that,
See, the problem I have with this is I don't know if you guys follow the Letterboxd accounts at all. They'll come up to actors and ask them their top 5, and I mean, I think even just with us, if we ask your top 5 movies, that would change every single time we ask it. And this is the problem. Sometimes you get the pretentious answers, and sometimes the guy's just like, yeah, listen, Mission Impossible is a fucking smash. Like, the original one. Like, that's on my top 5. And also Ratatouille, because who the fuck doesn't like Ratatouille? And then you get the other guys, just like we talked about when we looked at the list last episode with the movies you have to see before you die. And you get those, oh, fuck you answers. I would like to never have those people curate me a list, by the way. Those people are excluded for life for making lists off of this. I'm sure these exist. Like, I'm sure if
here's the thing. When HBO Max first launched, they had a section where, like, hey, we asked Gal Gadot, because Wonder Woman 1984 was coming out. So we asked Gal Gadot to put together a list of films. But the problem with that was you're only beholden to what's on HBO Max, right? So, like, you're not getting the actual...
the full list.
The full list of what, you know, that person... what inspires that person, and what that person likes, or what that person is looking at in terms of, for your example with Timothy Spall, how to be an actor, how to character actor, what have you.
I think the Criterion Collection does this too, right?
You're getting, hey, Gal Gadot, you were in Wonder Woman. Can you give us 10 other superhero type movies that happen to be by
Warner Brothers property, so that way we can get the views off of them?
DC, what I think Super by James Gunn might be one, and that's it, right? So, like, it's not. I just don't think it's very fair, you know.
I am curious. The lists like this have to exist, and now I want to watch them.
Well, if you find them, you let me know.
I know they. Oh, what's the guy? Hold on, Boardwalk Empire. The guy who played Zod in Man of Steel. Michael Shannon. Michael Shannon went into the Criterion Collection, and
right. Here's the thing. When I ask for when I'm asking for these, I don't give a shit about what the Criterion Collection says is special, and I also don't necessarily give a shit about what pop culture says is special. Like, I don't care. Like, give me you, for example, Michael Shannon. What do you watch? And I would love a list that confirms that, like, yes, Michael Shannon does enjoy Iron Man 2, but he also enjoys The Seventh Seal. You know, like, great. I want that, because anybody who is in this industry, you can't sit there and fucking tell me they don't like the pop culture popcorn movies too. Like, you just can't. There's a reason people are excited to be a part of a Marvel movie. There's a reason people get excited when they get cast as Batman, right? Because we all watched 1989's Batman, which was a popcorn film at the time, and said, that was awesome, right? Like, this concept that critics mostly want you to believe of everybody in this industry is watching La Vie Boheme and all the fucking, you know, French New Wave bullshit is a crock of shit. And, like, I hate that. You know, that's kind of why I was like, oh, hey, I'd go directly to the source, right? Like, directors, yeah, I'm going to get some of that crap, right? Unless I'm talking to Quentin Tarantino. Then I'll probably get a lot of really cool stuff, like some good Westerns, some good Hong Kong, you know, action films and stuff like that. But, like, if I go to Scorsese, who apparently doesn't understand how email works, by the way, which is
that was adorable,
a wonderful topic, then it's, you know, I know I'm going to get that shit, right? Because he thinks he's above it all, you know?
I just put into, and again, this will be included in the show notes, these are actors who have done the Criterion Closet picks, and, like, Mark Maron's on here. I would have never in a million years thought to ask Mark Maron this question. That would be an interesting pick in there. They also have, you know, Michael Cera. I don't know what Michael Cera picks out. Not really sure I'm too interested in what Michael Cera picks out. But, like, Paul Dano's on this list? That's a great mind to jump into.
Udo Kier's on this list.
Yeah, Kate Blanchett. Like, Michael Shannon's on this list. I knew he was one of the people that did this. So I think if you're interested in getting an answer, although, again, to Brian's point, which is this is a limited volume of a limited library. This is
Criterion Collection is like, what, 67 films right now?
No, it's much larger than that.
I'm about to find out.
Well, I'll watch a video and maybe it'll tell you.
Not 67, obviously, because that closet looks very full, but A little over 1,000.
Oh, look, and then you can actually see. So, all right, here, just to give you I'll put it in the show notes. You can actually buy or look at Michael Shannon's picks for this. Yeah, but you're right. They're all kind of. I mean, being John Malkovich is on.
Right, but they're all the hoity-toity BS, right? And
be there.
And like some of this stuff I like. Like I'm not gonna lie, I'm on Criterion's website right now. Apparently, The Others just got inducted into the Criterion Collection with Nicole Kidman, which is a great film.
You can go down the rabbit hole. Is what I'm saying.
I'm already down the rabbit hole.
But I like your answer, or like your thing of Brian. Like, I don't want your hoity-toity thing. Do you like Iron Man 2? Of course you fucking do. Put it on the goddamn list, right?
So let me just give you an idea.
Do we need this for us?
You brought up the Criterion Collection, and now you're in trouble. Like, I'm going to give you an idea of some of the newest inductees to the Criterion list. 16 over the past. Since August 8th was the last one, okay? The Others, with Nicole Kidman. AO, No Bears, The Innocent, Freaks, The Unknown, The Mystic, Videodrome, Don't Look Now, Moon Age Daydream, La Bamba, The Trial, Walkabout, The Princess Bride, Drilongso, Bo Weirdman's New Swedish Cinema, Dim Sum, A Little Bit of Heart, and Akira Kurosawa's Dreams. There are 4 actual movies in that entire list, and that's 16 that they've done collections for recently. Coming soon. Let's see here. What's coming soon?
Right.
The Apu trilogy is coming
soon. This isn't Bash Criterion for like the next 20 minutes.
No, you started this.
No, the only thing I said was, hey, I swear I've seen something similar to this idea of somebody I would like to see. Oh, here's Michael Shannon. He's walking through.
No, but you made the stupid analogy of saying, "Oh, Criterion kind of does something like this." No, they don't, because
but they do.
But they don't.
Can I get a ruling on this, Josh? Do
not
they?
In the way that we're looking for.
I don't see anybody curating a list for me here. Where? Tell me where you see people curating a list
on the closet picks.
I'm on the Criterion web. Criterion.
It literally is them going into the closet and saying, "This one's good."
Check the chat and look at Michael Shannon's closet picks from the Criterion Collection, where he literally has 1, 2, 3, 5 movies, 6, 7 movies. He's picking 7 movies, and he tells you why.
So here's the thing. But my point is this:
it's not a list. It's not a theme. It's not a.
My point
genre.
Is this: the Criterion Collection. Yes, they do have RoboCop. But they also have, what the fuck is Alphaville? You know, like, this is the thing.
I'm agreeing with the premise that it's flawed. What I'm saying is, hey, if you are curious, since you are never going to reach out to Michael Shannon and say, curate me a day of movies, because he's not going to do that for you, he's done it in a limited fashion with the Criterion Collection.
The thing is, I think, CJ, that these movies would be required to be admitted into the Criterion Collection before someone could select them for me, and I think that defeats the purpose.
That is a problem.
I'm acknowledging that problem. The Criterion Collection itself is trying to curate.
Oh no, this is it's horseshit.
Yes.
Like I'm looking at this going,
you're curating a curation. And that curation has.
Well, what are you talking
that's
about?
A problem, but I'm saying if you're just a little bit curious what a celebrity would do, here's an example of them doing something kind of similar. Not the exact thing.
It's just
This is not a semantics argument. You're not hearing what I'm saying. You're hearing what Brian's saying, and Brian's wrong.
Out of these hoity-toity movies, these are the ones that I think are the hoitiest.
Yes. Hey, exactly. The hoitiest of toities from last week, right? You're stuck with that list that whatever shitty publication put together. What would Michael Shannon pick out of this? I am not saying this is a good list. I'm not saying Michael Shannon would suggest that you watch all of these and that they're the best. These are what he would pick. If you are just curious, there happens to be a couple videos of people picking a couple movies in case you were curious what it's like being inside of John Malkovich.
You're the guy that when I'm like, I need a chewy candy, you're like, oh, I have good and plenty.
No. What I'm saying is, I want a chewy candy. That's great. You're always stuck buying from Gertrude Hawk. So whatever Gertrude Hawk has, that's what you're stuck with.
But that's not what this is. And okay, listen, this is turning into a much bigger argument than I thought it was. I was
just saying, hey, I saw something that reminded me of this. And then you took it to CJ thinks that this is the best collection of movies and most relevant cultural significance in the world.
I think the point is going back to the original article. Going back to the original article, or even my original point about HBO Max, is that they are only beholden by what's on that thing, right? So like Elijah Wood is only picking movies that are on Pluto TV. And Gal Gadot is only picking movies that are owned by Warner Brothers. And we just joked about what a fucking joke that was because of the restrictions on it, right?
Yes. And I said something similar happened with Criterion.
No.
Yes, this is it.
No. That's not what you said.
It's the exact same.
That's not what you said. I would like to play back the tape on that.
Story.
You are saying
Gal Gadot story.
You are no. You're not. You weren't saying this was similar to the Gal Gadot. You were saying, hey, if you want.
That's what sparked it. The whole thing that sparked it was you mentioned Gal Gadot and being in a limited library. Yes, that reminds me of Michael Shannon did this with the Criterion Collection. It's a 1-to-1 association.
That is not how you presented this. Yeah, no, and if the tape is correct, then we'll talk about it next time.
Go for it.
Quite frankly, that is not how you presented this.
That is exactly how I presented this.
No, it's not. It's not.
Jimmy, roll back the tape.
But for the record, My Dinner with Andre was the 479th movie that Criterion Collection put out.
If I have to ever hear about this movie again, I'm going to smack somebody in the head.
My point is this. It's not even like good, like, oh, give me Good and Plenty, right? It's when we're talking about the Criterion Collection, we're talking about, hang on, I'm not bitching at you anymore, but keep reacting like that, and I will make it about you. The fact that the point is, like, I'm looking at the list of the Criterion Collection right now, and a lot of it is, not that it's a bad thing, but a lot of it is international films, and to Josh's point, the hoitiest of toities films, right? Is RoboCop on there? Absolutely. Is RoboCop on there because the Criterion people thought watching robots blow up and get blown apart was cool? No. It's on there because, it's a gripping satire of blah, 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 blah. I don't care. I don't care, right? And to put any actor into a closet filled with these and expect them to have anything to say about Blithe Spirit from the United Kingdom that was made in 1945, I would have to imagine that eventually, like, there's a lot of repeats, because to your point, being John Malkovich is on here, but so is And Everything Is Going Fine, which is from Steven Soderbergh, and I've never heard of it. Not that I'm the be-all to end-all. The thing is this. It's like going into a candy store and having Michael Shannon pick out his favorite color of Skittle. But, like, he doesn't like Skittles. He wants Snickers. You know what I mean? Right? Like, that's the thing. And that's all I'm going to say.
That's all he has to say about that.
Because this went down a path that I did not expect it to go down. Am I glad it went down it? I'm not sure. CJ seems quite upset. But maybe that will net me some points. I don't know. We'll see. Josh, you have a small thing that can be put anywhere.
I am going to introduce my tiny topic. Very small topic. And
it's how you use it. That's really
that's right. But what I need to do is send it to you guys because what happened was I was on, like, I don't know, Inventor Talk for a while, and this thing came up, and I thought, wow, this would be the worst thing to put on your desk ever. Like, I can't imagine a more disruptive adornment for a desk than this. And I'm sending it to you guys now. If one of you, while you're playing it, could put it up to the mic so that the good people can hear it, and also CJ drop a link.
I'll slice the audio into.
Yeah, CJ,
slice the audio in, please. Go ahead and watch this.
I'm gonna watch this.
It is a phone charger
That's supposed to charge my phone.
That is a Sterling engine.
Oh God!
That's what people
Absolutely
with too much time on their hands do.
It's a steam-powered fucking. Oh
it is. It's a steam engine that charges your phone. Now, listen. I am all about ingenuity. I'm all about I love perpetual motion machines. I love the engineering that goes into these things. And I'm sitting here going, there's no way you could make that quieter.
What? Huh? I'm charging my phone.
This thing, Brian, I mean, it's gotta be, at most 5 inches edge to edge. And the thing is the loudest fucking thing I've ever heard. It is god awful loud. It is so loud.
So when you said you had a tiny thing, you meant this actual thing.
That's right.
Was tiny.
It's $50?
Yes.
Okay, I can't think of many phone chargers.
It is 100% worth it.
It will go gangbusters in like the Seattle area.
It is this just steampunk guys. Like, imagine I can sit on the park bench with my typewriter and this and make all the noise.
So
I have my IBM Selectric. I have my IBM Selectric and my Leica camera and my Sterling
and your coffee from that shop that's down the road. Not that shop. That shop's too well known. The shop that's behind that shop, where you actually
the shop underneath that.
Right,
yeah.
You go through the actual shop, and then you do the special knock, and then you have to answer 3 questions, and then they let you into the actual shop. That's where you're getting your coffee
my God,
from.
You have to read some of the reviews on the TikTok shop for this one.
I think everyone can kind of do that on their own time. I just wanted to put this on everybody's radar, because people are charging their phones from steam engines on their desks.
Oh my God, this is so dumb.
Look, I think it's really cool, but like, not on my desk, homie.
So CJ's looking at reviews on the shop. I'm just looking at the comments. One of them says, "I like how quiet it is."
That's right.
The other comment is, "Hey bro, can I use your charger?" Yeah, you got gas money. Note to self.
TSA, you can't take this on board. Me, it's my cell phone charger.
Yep. Note to self, world doesn't care about cool stuff and mechanics, only convenience and charged phones. Okay. Once again, that's Seattle. There are people who are actually interested in it, which cracks me up.
Well, of course there are. Yeah.
Everybody's like, "Ooh, this would be nice during power outages." Get a Mophie.
Right.
For how much is this, CJ? You're on the shop.
It's 30% off right now, but it's $49.99.
I can buy a Mophie for the same cost.
This is great for prison, right? Except you're going to get caught.
Look, I think this would be a cool thing to buy in pieces for a kid to assemble.
Right.
And again, it is a cool piece of engineering. This is, how things used to function, and that's fine. But like, what could this possibly generate? 3 watts?
So I legit was just about to mention that, because one of these comments literally says, "Dude, the phone is already on 100%," which makes me think, how fast is this charging this phone?
The review was work
Not
for
fast
1
at all.
minute, then you have to let it cool down so that way you can restart it. And it gets too hot after a minute. Just the device itself.
Still quieter than a PS5.
That's great.
I'm gonna give credit to Blue Dream on TikTok for that. That was a good one.
All right, so I'm gonna do some points. I'm gonna wrap up, and unfortunately, we won't have a winner until this show is edited.
Oh,
So
Because it all comes down to who was right about the thing of the thing.
that's right, CJ.
What thing?
For the eras topic, I award you 3 points, and for advocating fun 2. But for your singing along at Hamilton, you lose a point. For your awful theater etiquette.
I was going to edit that out, but that's cool.
Now it's
Brian,
in there forever.
Now it has to stay.
really solid perspectives on that whole conversation. 5 points. CJ and Brian explaining the business of Taylor Swift. 3 points. Brian for the curated movie topic. 3 points. CJ, the character actor approach. That was super interesting. 3 points. Brian, kind of preemptively knowing CJ would want the Topher Grace thing. That's 2. CJ for getting heated. That's 1. Brian for either being right or gaslighting so hard that no one could definitively say he's wrong, either +5 or -5. And that'll be the decider.
That will be the decider, yes.
Wait, what am I? What are we fact checking for that?
I think we need to check how you segued into the Criterion topic.
Oh,
in order
okay,
to...
cool.
Yeah.
So, all right.
I need to be able to hear it so that we can say definitively Brian did. Here's what he said before. Here's how he changed his tune.
Well, let's do it. Let's do it
we were
now.
all
Here we go.
convinced.
Let's do it now. Here's me introducing. Here's Brian talking about the Gal Gadot thing, and now here is me introducing the Criterion Collection. Just I don't know, man. Good luck to me, I guess.
Wonder Woman 1984 was coming out. So we asked Gal Gadot to put together a list of films. But the problem with that was you're only beholden to what's on HBO Max, right? So, like, you're not getting the actual
The full list.
the full list of what that person, what inspires that person, and what that person likes, or what that person is looking at in terms of, for your example with Timothy Spall, how to be an actor, how to character actor, what have you.
I think the Criterion
getting-
Collection does this too, right?
You're getting, hey, Gal Gadot, you were in Wonder Woman.
Yes, indeed. All right, everyone, listeners, thank you for joining us. Thank you for making us your walk around your neighborhood or your drive to work. We appreciate you, and we will see you on the next show.